Warning: the following program may contain material not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The borders of space and time have opened once again. And transmitting from the mountains of West Virginia, it's time once again for Let's Find Out with Diego. The universe is waiting for you. Wake up and remember.
On this episode of Let's Find Out, our guest is an app developer, comedian, artist, author, and a UFO experiencer. The research he's been doing with Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind links with the release of his new app called Kachi Masters, helping people heal hands-free meditation games that puts you at the center of mystical growth. His new documentary, All Stars Dream, will be released very soon. All this plus more. Please welcome our new friend and first-time guest, developer of the Kachi Masters app, Robert Florio. Robert, my friend, welcome to Let's Find Out.
Happy to be here. Excited.
I'm happy to have you here too. The more and more I do research on your app, and then we've been doing a lot of back and forth emails now for the last few weeks. And I tell you, the life you've lived and the things you've experienced, man, we could probably do a 2 or 3 part series, but we're going to try to do it all in around an hour. And well, let's do this because you juggle a lot of roles, and let's talk about first, because I think let's go with the because you're not only an app developer, you're a comedian, artist, and an author. So my thing is, out of all these things that you've been doing lately, how do you find time to do it? Which one comes first? You do it all at the same time, or you just break it in pieces?
In pieces, for sure. It's interesting, things about that is trying to get a lot of things done in a short amount of time. It's more about when I meditate, I get to a place of no time, and I rehearse everything I have to get done. And I create the energy, the frequency of that event that I envision, that I with a passion that I want, and I can see in full detail. So I've already lived its experience, and I've already done it. So when it's time to go do it, it takes no time to do. That's the short answer.
Oh no, it's because I'm kind of trying to envision it in my own mind. So you're already getting the job done in your meditative state, and all you have to do is just when you come back is it's already done. You just got to put the pieces together and get it done.
Yeah, because I experience a lot of neck and shoulder pain with my injury. And that's how I got into meditation and CE5. For those listening that don't know, I have a spinal cord injury, big twist there. And what that means is you can't feel or move anything below your injury. So this the fourth cervical in my neck. When I was 14, dove into a swimming pool, and life has been living hell for 43 now, so 30 years. And yeah, sorry to give you that a little bit of a jaw dropper, but it gets better. Stay with me in this story because this is one you want to hear.
And that's one of the things I was going to definitely talk to you about, because I like to know, because I know the spirit behind this application is to someone that's definitely in your condition wants to use an app, but this is a hands-free app that helps people meditate. It's also a game. How does that work? Because the more and more I look at it, it seems like something I'm going to want to use myself.
That's good. That's the reason why I'm here on this in conversation. It's because when I was 14 and I had that injury, I'll tell you how it works. I was in rehab and I immediately wanted to play Earthworm Jim, my favorite game, and they were like, nope, none of it's accessible. And I was like, what in the world? So I vowed one day I learned how to. The Art Institute of Pittsburgh, the state of Maryland, helped me with a grant to pay for the schooling. So I went online and I learned that. But then my neck pain got real bad. Started getting into in motivational speaking. My best friend was Jay Gibbons, who played for the Baltimore Orioles, which is also part of the documentary All Stars Dream. And 2 weeks before my injury, I was supposed to play my first All-Star game, and then my injury happened. So I was like, well, what do I do now? I learned meditation, and I was like, this is what I was supposed to do with that degree. Make hands-free games in general are just not accessible for someone who can't use their hands. Developers just don't care. I mean, they're starting to now because people like me, for decades, I've been like hounding them and joining special interest groups, and trying to get the word out at conferences, but they don't want to spend the millions of dollars it takes to completely retrofit their game. So which means for their lovely, beloved fans, sucks for you when you can't play their favorite game anymore. They don't care about you. They look at statistics and who's playing it, what are the trends, which most of it's all murder and killing is the first thing they want to put in their game, which is the last thing you want to program yourself to do. So yeah, man, this is like the Buddha and when the Jesus, like when they first realized that their thoughts were in control of matter, that energy dictates matter, and they were doing the things that they were doing. They just wanted to share it with everyone, but not everyone was ready for it. That's why Jesus said, let all who have ears to hear and eyes to see come and be free. He didn't say, like, let everyone come and hear. He meant that specifically for the people who were ready for it. And those are the ones that change the world because, they're crazy enough to think they can. Who said that? Jim Carrey, I think, right?
It sounds about right.
I heard that the other day. No, was it Jim Carrey? It was a documentary I was watching. And at the end of it, he said, the people who think they're crazy enough to change the world always do. I'm sure someone's listening and knows who said that. I'll remember it probably by the end, but it was really like timely. So yeah, that's how I got to play and design video games. Was like, if you can't use your hands, right? And so then how do you play? Well, I thought, well, I'll make it in mobile app, right? And I'll teach people these transcendental meditation techniques and that I've been mastering for the last 6-7 years. But every phone has a camera on it. So let's just use eye blinking to navigate, right? So, which makes it even cooler because when you're in the guided meditations, if you open your eyes, it'll say, please close your eyes to like gently remind you your eyes need to be closed to focus. And you have to calibrate it. It will remember you. If the lighting changes, you have to recalibrate it. But it's pretty intuitive. And the more support it gets, the more paid downloads it gets. Donations at kachimasters.com. Whatever help we can get. Because I'm an artist, I make very little a month. So I've been saving up and sacrificing for many, 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 many years. And just feeling the energy of the future to be like, I don't know how to do this. But from what I've learned, the unknown is the best place to create from. Not to fear, because you can only create from what you know. And because your brain is an artifact, if you search your brain for how to make $1 million and you don't know how, then you must look to the unknown. That's obvious. So don't be afraid of it. And there's unlimited potentials of how that will present itself to you. If you can align your energy, your frequency, to be a match in the field, going to get a little technical for you a little bit here, but bear with me. You will resonate And those waves of probabilities, the electromagnetic field that you produce with your thoughts and feelings, stimulus and response, gratitude, the emotion of gratitude of receiving something is a chemical signature in your body that produces a specific frequency. And the larger that emotion is, the bigger the wave is, the further out that signal goes, and it pings back to you and brings it back to you faster. So you collapse time and space, and everything you want comes to you. So it goes back to my question the other day, other question, how do you do all these things? You're all doing this right now. It's just to what degree of focus and willpower, that saying, thy will be done, God. Really what that saying in the Bible is saying is, do you have the willpower to allow God's ability to shine through you? If you do, it will. You just have to have the willpower to do it. And thy will be done is you're calling out the power of your own will. So it's some of these things are kind of like, I've always questioned, like, how is it there's so much suffering in the world? If you listen to the Bible and you read a book called The Christ Letters, and people are I was visited by Christ himself, honestly. I was even visited by an extraterrestrial when I was around 6, 7 years old, which gets into the movie. The movie picks up on this, and 30 years later, I got an answer. So I'm waiting for you to ask me some questions about the movie, because that would be like, I mean, it's all intertwined, yeah. So please ask me some questions. I know you got some thoughts in your head.
Absolutely. You read me like a book on that one, because I'm digesting everything that you're saying, and I'm from the app, and I'm trying to link it to not only your UFO experience, but now you're telling me that at the age of 9 you were visited by an extraterrestrial, and
6 or 7.
6 or 7. I'm sorry about that. And then Christ himself also visited you. So was this at such a young age? I want to say, was it during a meditation, or what was going on? Was it during your sleep? Was there sleep paralysis involved with this? What happened?
Okay, so we're talking now about the visit when I was 6, 7 years old, and when Christ visited me. Big time span. This was about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when I had the Christ visit. And he said something really interesting to me that would speak of someone who was a master of these consciousness theories. It wasn't biblical. It wasn't like condemnation, and repent. It was nothing like that. So I've always, as a kid, there was something different about me. I always gave off a different energy. I was always like the best athlete. And I was the youngest, 2 older brothers, an older sister. So, I always wanted to be hanging out with them. So I started at a much younger age than they did, doing the activities that they were doing. And they were passing everything down to me. So I was like natural phenomenon, right? And like a 6-year-old dropping down on a skateboard ramp, a 4-foot ramp in our backyard, which was right next to our treehouse, right? Who does that? Riding the coping like nothing, yeah, and loved playing baseball. There was a baseball field right in front of my house. Thought I was Cal Ripken Jr. I was like, man, I got the perfect setup. He grew up with a baseball field in front of his house. I grew up with one. I'm going to be a major league athlete when I get older, something like that. Right. So I went out front. I woke up early one morning, and something called me out there, because normally I never wake up before my brothers, and my parents were, I think they were asleep or at work. Back in the 80s, that was okay.
Yeah.
you know, and so I was like, I'm gonna grab the bow and arrow. My brother would never let me use it on my own. Either a safety thing or he just was hogging it. I think it was both. But I just woke up, grabbed it, went outside, shot it toward the tree in front of my treehouse. Went to pull the arrow out, and these two little green long fingers poked through the hole in the astroturf carpet wall, pulled it open, and this 4.5 foot tall, green and brownish looking being with these big dark eyes and a frowny face staring at me. And I looked at it from head to toe, toe to head, and ran as fast as I could. Like I left the Scooby Doo poof cloud behind. You know how he does that when he's
Yeah.
running away from something? Zoinks! And I went back to look, and I brought my friend and my two brothers and a baseball bat. And we went down there to look what was going on. And on the ground, it was a dirt floor, right? It was a perfectly smooth. I mean, like someone had like a cake pan and smashed it full of dirt and pressed it perfectly down on the ground and left this perfectly smooth egg-shaped mound with this like stretched out peanut shape in the middle. I thought was a footprint. Like imagine if you had two round spoons connected and there's like a bar in the middle, like a 2-inch bar. And on the end, there was like this, and you'll see this in the movie, All Stars Dream. That was that. And then I never was like, and then these two helicopters almost hit my house, like 2 inches from my house, black. And one of them had the door wide open. I think that being was asking me for help and knew I was going to have my injury and knew that would carry on and keep me going. That someone like me would keep his message alive and that I would be able, in the position I'm in now, to help, Now, I keep this on the down low a little bit, the frequency. I know whoever's listening are all the right people. I just call that out. I know it. There's no chance that anything negative will come to me. And if there is, I ask right now that all you, including you and all the listeners, just simply hold the frequency of guidance and protection for anyone who comes on the show, including me, And it will happen. That's just you hold that thought, and the emotion of that, and it makes it real. So just little, PSA. Because these are things that you see people do, and then they get a lot of backlash, not from people that you wouldn't expect, But anyway, I guess I should tell you a little bit about the other encounter real quick, and then you can ask me a question. So this was like 3 or 4 years ago. I was having these like insane spasms and severely high blood pressures, and my body was like convulsing. Turned out I needed a baclofen pump because, too many years with a spinal cord injury, things just don't want to operate. So they have to put fluid into your spinal cord fluid to like baclofen to kind of like keep the spasms down at a low rate, and all these other things that come with that. But you try to be positive about it. And so yeah, I went to this local church, LH, I think it's Lighthouse, Friday night, and Glen Burnie. And I just told the guys, one of the meeting circle groups, like the small groups, I was like, guys, like I'm really bad off. I need to feel, I had to come to some spiritual groups, even though I argue, I debate a lot in my mind, the real efficacy of the leaders there. But anyway, so I just requested, I said, can you guys just put your hands on me? It was like 15 of them, and just pray and just like, honestly, just with your heart, just help me get this healing, what I need right now, just to call things into my life, that everything I need. And they were doing it. I was crying. Some of them were crying. So that morning when I woke up, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I think, Might have been a little early, your subconscious is wide open first thing in the morning and last thing at night, which is the best time to meditate. And because your analytical mind is completely shut off and you're just receptive completely. You just surrender. And so I woke up, I was like, just my eyes were like coming up a little, and saw this dude standing at the foot of my bed. Like, why is there a guy in my room, right? This white t-shirt on, right? White, I think it was a robe or something like that. And he had these like pulsating forearm veins, huge. And you could tell the guy was probably ripped, or he had some kind of something going for him. Because why do you need veins if you're a spirit? Like, kind of question there. But anyway, it's purposeful. He was a human, so had an astral body now of his human body. But right, and I see this guy stand. Can't see his face. I don't think he ever shows his face because it's not really important. The face is not what's important. It's the individual, what he represents. And so he says to me, "When you reveal yourself to me, I will reveal my teaching." And then I saw an equation floating above my bed right in front of my face, mathematical equation. It was something like 1 equals, and then all these mathematical numbers I can't remember, but they were floating there, like just alive, like weird. And then I started coming to, and I was like, "Oh my God, I think I know who that was." Right? And then I had to really be like, I had to figure this out. Like, geez, could you have made it a little easier? You got to come and give me a riddle. Like, come on, speaking plain language, dude. Like, ugh. So, and then like my journey through meditation, I would let it come to me, and I'd be like, well, when you reveal yourself to me, I will reveal my teaching. What would that mean? So now I kind of feel like it means when you kind of submit yourself to a teaching, or to allow yourself to realize fully the truth, the true reality of existence. It will all is revealed to you. Like, it's kind of like, we human beings have such a hard time doing anything, and it's like, and you get in arguments for stupid little things that can divide you, but we don't realize that there's infinite possibilities. But if you focus on the stressful part of it, your brain literally will point out the worst case scenario, and that's all that exists in an ocean of possibilities, of infinite possibilities of the quantum field. They say that because the atom is a quantum probability energy particle, and based on your intention and your attention on it, your energy can dictate anything to change the reflection of the hologram of that what is an atom. And the energy field of the atom has a nucleus, and if you change the intention of what the center of the atom is, it will project the hologram of what's on the inside onto the outside. But if you believe, accept, and surrender to a new reality, a personal reality, it changes your personality, changes your personal reality. So, I'm like, all right, I think I might be getting it now. Okay. I need a drink.
And now, when you were visited by these beings and then the Christ-like being as well, since then, do they still reveal themselves to you? So let me frame the question like this: when you're in a meditative state, you're opening yourself up to a lot of things. When you're, I'm going to call it, deep in meditation and you're completely open, what or who makes contact, if anybody at all? Are we talking extraterrestrials? Are we talking angels? Are we talking people from the future? Are we talking about spirits? Who is in that same wavelength traveling with you?
So that's an interesting question. It could be all of it, but it depends on your intention at the moment. Like usually, my intention is to meet extraterrestrials who are, loving and caring, and who would share an event of healing with me. Of course, but it's very interesting if you really watch this film, and I might have the trailer on there soon on the website. That everyone's like, "Where's the evidence? What's the evidence? What's going on?" I have some really unique stuff that's like they come through my walkie-talkie. I have open conversations with them. Yeah, it's getting to that level. And they've said things to me like, "You're my favorite. I love you. We're medical doctors. All we have to do is fly down there." Clearly, like I have these recorded now. Some of it is more clearer than others. Like I'll be listening and I'll have a conversation with some friends over doing CE5, and they waste no time. As soon as they get in the room and the walkie-talkie's on, like beep beep beep, like it starts going off. Like and no one knows I'm doing this. So, or at what hour I'm doing it. I never get on the walkie-talkie, hold the button in, and start talking and broadcasting what I'm doing. Like, so you know what I mean? To be out in the middle of my yard one day and they're like, it goes off, a woman's voice, "Rob, are you there? Over." Right? Fireball discs, um, all kinds of stuff. Shooting stars that are not shooting stars. Like I had one in the film. I have these they'll just appear like 1, 2, 3, like big white lights. I've had one look like a zipper opening in the sky, like this orange, like you immediately want to think it's like the flare behind a jet when they release those like counter ballistic missile countermeasures. But it wasn't that at all because it was way too sparkly, and it's kind of like Babe Ruth, when he would point his bat and then hit exactly a home run to that spot. Like they will do exactly what you ask them to do, like exactly. Like you can say to them, "I'm pointing the camera at a certain part of the sky. I can't move around because I'm in a wheelchair. So if you're over here, I won't be able to see you and record you. If it's okay if I can record you, can you please appear exactly where I'm looking when I'm recording?" And they'll do the weirdest, coolest things to just blow your mind. Like, for example, I had recorded one at one time. The whole sky lit up purple and blue. Like it looked like a static electricity, but it was just like, like I was like, "Oh my god, is that you guys?" And then it would do it again, and then all of a sudden it was right in front of my face because I said, "Well, if that's you doing that, why don't you do it in my face, like 10 feet from me, right?" So 10 feet from me, this gigantic white light. It wasn't a ball. It was just everything it was just light. And it was like 3 quick flashes, like and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like, it was really intense. And then I went back and looked at the recording for it, right? And I had hit record. I asked, they did it, and then I hit stop on the recording, and the recording was exactly 51 seconds. Area 51, the connection. So,
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
how did they put the thought in me to hit pause at that exact time? They have the strangest, coolest understanding of consciousness that, like, this is what they're trying to say to people. Like, you need to, like, stop warring each other. And
Batman, here's your reminder. Meeting for the podcast. Get ready for the cell phone earpiece.
sorry, could you hear that?
Yeah, but we're already on, so that's good.
Yeah. So that And because I have this injury, like I probably have more desire and passion than most people to want to heal, and then naturally those things occur. Um, but it's a little lonely too because no one in my family cares about it. So I'm like I'm outside, mom, they're here, and everyone's in the house watching Dancing with Stars. It's like holy cow, yeah.
I was gonna, because you kind of answered my question, because you said it doesn't matter what time of the day you're doing your recordings. Now, normally, a lot of folks would do this kind of at nighttime, but this would happen anytime during the day, as long as you're out there asking them.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter when. That's that's more of a human thing. We because it's dark and the stars are more visible. We think, oh, there's more magic there, for which there is, if that's how it makes you feel. But any time of the day, doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. They know when you're thinking about them, and it's pretty amazing. Like I'm starting to ask things. Like I would always ask for smiley faces, right? Because smiley faces are kind of like a theme in my life, and I was like, and it makes me feel less afraid, like they're friendly. So in the film, you'll see where I zoomed in. When you zoom in on them, that's when you see some really amazing stuff. Because they can morph their entire ship to look like them, or whatever you ask them to look like. Like I zoomed in on it, and it was blinking and morphing in all these different types of smiley faces. And one of I captured one of the orbs that was like a flashbulb. Sometimes they'll flashbulb at you, like they'll just go on and off real quick. Well, I recorded it and I zoomed in extremely on it and slow motioned it, and as it was coming into existence and going out, it's it was transforming into the shape of their own face, like a white head and big round eyes. I'm like, whoa, And then it's funny because if you go and watch the trailer for All Stars Dream, um, my buddy Chuck, who helped me, um, um, Howling Underdog Films, amazing collaboration. Just really grateful for that. Think great things are going to come for both of us for that. So thankful. And he gave me the cover, and I put it through an AI like Grok, and I didn't give it any instructions. I just let it do what it was going to do, and it animated it for me. Well, when the baseball glove comes off the ground, hovers a little bit, and then goes up toward the smiley face that's in the corner. The glove, the pitcher, the webbing of the glove between the fingers covers the smile of the moon and where the two stars are that make the eyes. And then I looked at one of the morphing smiley faces that I recorded like 2020, I think it was, looked exactly like a perfect match. So they can do these things that will make you just keep you remembering that you're not a prisoner anymore of that you have these freedoms, that these things that you just gotta you keep it alive in your mind, and it every time you get a doubt or a fear, you have to put out that fire. Change. Just tell yourself change, change, change. Eventually you will overcome all those doubts and fears, and you will become that thing that you think about the most. Like you are, if you're thinking in doubt and fear, your pain and lack, then you will become more fear and doubt and pain and lack. Like you will, that saying, like, why do bad things happen to bad people? Shit. Why do bad things happen to good people? It's Turns out it's just your frequency. You know, you might have super focused on the wrong patterns and it's attracting to you. God's not punishing you. It's just the way the universe operates. And if you understand, like Nikola Tesla said, if you understand energy, frequency, and vibrations, you can understand the secrets of the universe. And that's where we are at as a civilization. And, you know, I'm not a leader in this, so I am just one fish in a school of fish. We're all leading, and that's how it has to be. Our leaders always disappoint us. You know, they don't. We think they're the cream of the crop, and they rise to the top, and they want, and they care about you a lot. Hey, that rhymes. They're the cream of the crop. They think they shit. I don't remember it. Anyway, the first time I said it was cool, and they're the cream of the crop. They rise to the top, and we think they care a lot. But it's impossible for them to do that, you know. Money gets in the way, and then they have to speak and do a certain thing to appeal just to their base so they can win. You know, we're always competing against each other. That's another thing I loved sports growing up. My best friend's a baseball player of my major league team that I grew up loving. You know, I don't hate sports. I still watch them, but I can't anymore enjoy the competitive nature of it. Just the emotions of the frequency of competition means that my brother has to lose for me to win. And it hurts me, you know? And I can't heal in that. I can't heal in that energy. And humanity has just been kept in the dark so freaking long that we're on the verge of blowing ourselves up again. Like, you know, I tell this joke in my film, like the Earth, Gaia, has a consciousness. She can feel and sense what we're doing, okay? And what we're doing is causing things to really heat up. Think about it though. If you had 13,000 nuclear bombs buried deep up your ass, you'd be sweating too, okay?
You're gonna have a bad day.
Imagine that. Someone, I don't want to get graphical on you, but if you someone put a firecracker up your bottom, tied your hands, and was sitting there like with a match, like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You'd be sweating bullets. You would literally pass out from the pressure of that, right? Like, so that this is what all these civilizations are saying that are visiting us. They're saying, you know, they went through the same shit we're going through to get to where they are. You know, for them, I think some civilizations had easier than others. Like, for example, let's say if dogs were chosen to be the conscious evolved species on this planet, they fight with each other to protect each other, but they don't war each other, and they love unconditionally. You know, like if a puppy came into their clan, I don't think they would kill it. They would love it. And then if you look at brain scans, studies on animals and dogs, if they're in front of their best friend, right, and their best friend, the human, is thinking, well, they love me more, right, because I'm always with them. And then they scanned the lobes of these dogs when they have the expression of love and familiarity. When their owner, I hate that word owner, but when their best friend standing in front of them. So then the best friend moves out of the way and they do the experiment. They bring a complete stranger in and they read the brainwave of the dog, and it's the exact expression. It felt no different than, and then the guys, they're going, well, I thought that my dog loved me more than anyone. Loves you just as much as he loves the complete stranger. You know, like human beings, I think apes in general, they have a tendency to, we have a tendency in our DNA to clan up, tribe up, and war against each other. And for that to get rooted out of our DNA takes a lot of time. And, we're just going to have to just together, all of us, and it only takes 1%, like Dr. Stephen Greer talks about. That resonant effect is 1% of consciousness of a population will influence the other 99% without them even knowing it, and so that's what we're doing. It's pretty cool, and I'm just trying to let it evolve in the best way possible. I'm not trying to get on the disclosure bandwidth, and that just naturally happens. And, one day, when I have more abilities and more control and more, recognition or followers, then that will be more of an appropriate thing for me to do. But for now, it's just, I'm just trying to heal and help others heal, and be a good light in the world. Yeah.
I think once All-Star Dream comes out, you're gonna start getting recognized, and I think more than you expect. And now I know that you've had a lot of the footage. Is the planning stage of All Stars Dream? When is it going to be released? You think? Where are we in the process so far?
Oh yeah, that's something really. So I have two things going on that I'm trying to manifest. An opportunity for my story came out with my friend, and we submitted to the Annapolis Film Festival last year, Rob and the Aliens. So that was a finalist, and it didn't win, but it was pretty obvious it probably should have. But so things have just been progressing, and I was like, well, that's a very specific type of short film. Half of it is like live action reenactment, and the other part is the footage I've been accumulating. So I was like, well, that's going to take some time till it gets the money it needs to get developed. So Chuck found me, and I just put it out there. Like, if it's the right thing to do, I want to know if there's something else I could be doing in the meantime that might, who knows how this is going to manifest. It'll come in a way you could never expect. So All Stars Dream, my sister was like, last year I submitted also, but it didn't get accepted, All Stars Dream. And the idea was I have all this footage. I need a collaborator who can just put it together. We don't need to spend any money. It's all there. Just need to interview me and have it done. Tell it from the perspective of I met my childhood hero Cal Ripken, and then Jay Gibbons, and my sister was like, and you need to share how Christ really is a big part of your life. And I'm like, well, my ideas there are a little different now. So I didn't twist it, but I clarified it a little bit more on that route. And then it just became like the app. I started talking about the app, my comedy, which was never really discussed. So I was like, this is big. Like, wow, what did we do here? Like, it became something. So there's opportunities. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm looking at now, like, what's going to happen? How is it going to come out? But I submitted it to the Annapolis Film Festival. And so that will most likely be available to watch there March 27th through the 30th this year. And then after that, we'll see what happens with Rob and the Aliens. I might not. It most likely will be hopefully on the app exclusively for now, for like the first 250 people that like purchase it, just because it's it's an opportunity, and it will help the app, because right now it has two miniature games in it, and it's a series of mini games that are going to evolve. the game in it is called I know this is a long answer, but it's called What's in the Box, which teaches you how to remote view and records your prediction, so you can share it online with your friends, like direct evidence of your abilities that because a lot of time when you do these apps, these meditation apps, you're just meditating by yourself. There's no community. There's no real evidence that you can like share a game experience with like you do with real games. But that's the point of it. Like there's nothing else like it on the market. So, and that's a rarity, and it's so, but it came with a lot of hardship and pain for it to come to existence, and as it should, because if it's going to do something that's going to help a lot of people, it really should be something that has a lot of mission behind it. And that's what keeps me going, honestly, because I'm still not healed. Like my spinal cord injury, still a pain in the ass to deal with. Like, but as long as I keep producing and I keep putting things out, that's proving to me that it's like food for my soul. It's evidence that I know I have these abilities in me. And other people too. God, can you imagine the people out like there's you and I are like just one little spoke. And there's so many people who need healing and just need to know that they can create anything, and that's what this film and this app is going to do. And it's blowing my mind. Like, I've always stressed over needing to have that one thing that would get me like everything I've always wanted. I've always stressed over it. And I was like, I gotta get it. What is it? What is it? What? And forcing it. And it would never happen. And it was like, I had to go through all that neck pain and outer body experiences, which we didn't talk about, which led to me getting into meditation, which led to me reconnecting, which then I found out in Peru, there were these alien mummies that were dug up in 2015, 2017. So I contacted them and said, hey, the chest plate on one of those mummies is the exact thing that was on that dirt mound. Holy crap. Like, if you watch the movie Ready Player One, that's me.
And now with Kachi Masters and the abilities and the availability of that, you said for the first how many people?
I'm thinking the first 250, but it might change. We'll see. It needs to. I really want that. It's going to come out. It's definitely coming out. I'm just trying to figure out still now, like the technicals around like how to release it in what way and how to respect the other film if the other film's still going to be a thing. Because the thing with films, if anyone's listening, is that you'll discover that one thing you think's going to work, and then a year down the road you're like, well, now something else has come up. What do I do with the one that we had? So I'm still in negotiations and with another friend. So that's it's an interesting dynamic because being producer and creator and the person who's the subject of the film, can get kind of tricky. So yeah, I mean, it's going to come out, but it's not going to. I'm not exactly sure on the time frame, but I would say definitely connect on the Facebook page, Kachi Masters. Instagram is the same thing, and website has all those links. And stay up. Join the newsletter because the newsletter I plan on doing is like giving. You can play the download. You can download the demo now. If you go on there and you sign up, I'm going to be sending newsletters out and be like, hey, who wants to play test? It's only Android for now. And it's going to be on the market maybe in like the next month or less than that. But we have t-shirts on there. I have my book, just trying to generate ways to get it onto the iOS market because it's a little more expensive and trickier for doing it to Apple. And yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to just be one of those things that you've never seen before. And so it gives me goosebumps. I'm like, holy crap, is this real?
Well, definitely everything about the app sounds absolutely awesome, man. And well, before we go, because I know I'm gonna put the links to your socials and the website on the show description once we release the episode. And let's get into the part about your book. What is your book titled and what is it about?
My book is titled Life! Exclamation mark. It must be a comedy. And it's about my life, like before my injury, when my injury happened, and then up to about the time when I graduated from the Art Institute of Pittsburgh online. It was published in 2010. I graduated 2007. So there was like a 4-year period where I was writing it and editing it. Yeah, and it gets into some details where like, yeah, spinal cord injuries are it was my first like kind of real attempt at creating an entertainment product that would tell my story, but it's so brutally honest. And it's funny. There's scenes where like you're like, oh God, this has got a sense of humor about that, because and there's scenes when like it's really hard to read because you're like, well, man, I don't want to know this. I know people go through hardships, but you gotta get yourself through it. You read it, and then like process it because it's. And then I wrote it because I was just tired of people asking me the story. I was like, I don't want to relive this every time. I was like, here, just read the book, and at the same time, you help me like financially a little bit, and I don't want to relive that, and you shouldn't relive it. You should let go of your past and just imagine a new future. Like, bless the past, and a lot of people get sucked into this reality. They get sucked into this illusion and think that you are all that you, this is all that you could be. This is all there is, and it's really interesting when you become aware of it. It changes. Like my dog, he was having these like horrible toothaches all the time, teeth problems, and I never knew. And I was just like, I always relied on my doctor to like tell me if something was wrong, because I can't feel my hands. I don't ever examine them and look. I can't like, and everyone else around me is like, oh, he's fine. Dogs don't need their teeth brushed. Dogs don't have teeth problems. I'm like, what? What? So I had to sit and suffer the realization that he's been in pain for how long, I don't even know. So I pushed and I fought and I said, no, there is a better reality. There is a better life for this dog. I know it's going to be $4,000 to pull 12 teeth. I'm doing it. And I just kept persistent on it. And I kept feeling his healing, that he was going to feel much better than he's felt in a very, very, very long time. And I just was like, and even though my heart was hurting, I could also feel the relief. And then it transferred into me, into my own healing, because I can experience for myself what it's actually like to see another being heal, and then now he's so much better. Like he's like a puppy again, and he's 4.5, he's almost 15, and he's walking fine. He's got almost no problems. On my website, robertflorio.com, go and check that out, and you'll find a product that will help you do that. There's a website that I can't talk about because it talks more about like that's another story real quick, because I was, when I was praying real hard because I was having all that neck pain, I was like, God, you got to send me something, because I'm out. I'm done. Like, I didn't have any energy left. A week or two later, my sister calls me up and she's like, you got to try this stuff. I was like, what is this? She said, oh, don't worry. It's a scientific breakthrough. Um, it's made of salt and water, and it's the same redox molecule that's in your body. It'll help you heal. I was like, no, this is stupid. I wouldn't take it right, and I was in so much pain. So one day I went to their conference and I was like, all right, look, this is real. I'm stopping all my morphine, all my oxycodone, cold turkey, man. 7 or 8 years on that. And they loaded me up. They just kept putting the gel on my neck and gelled me up and gelled me up. I went from a 10 to a 4 in like 20 minutes.
Wow.
By the time I left that place, I had no pain, and it was gone for 24 hours. You see what I'm saying? Like, your healing will come in ways you could never have expected. But it's expensive, so that's like another thing. I'm like, it'll keep you going. These things will come into your life. And so the breakthroughs are out there. You can drink it. You can put it on as a gel. And yeah, robertflorio.com. You'll find that in a I did a couple videos on YouTube on the homepage. All I can say is redox molecules. If you do any research on that, that's like, yeah, reach out to me, because you know what I'm saying? That's just, anyway, yeah, the book. 360 pages. I'm like, I didn't plan that. It's just how it turned out. I'm beside myself right now, so you have to ask me questions. I'm kind of like,
No, that's fine. We're actually nearing the end of the show, and I'm definitely going to visit robertflorio.com and check out what it is you're just talking about. I might need some of that myself, my friend.
yeah.
And now, if you were to have another experience, whether it's UFO or Christ-like, what, and it's so hard sometimes because everybody's experience is a little bit different. And what would you say to those that get visited by either, I would say, an extraterrestrial spirit or some sort of godly being? How do you, how can you give them the advice on how to receive the information?
Okay, well, since you asked the question, give some advice on how to receive the information. Like is attracted to like. So if you know that you can just, consciousness is really the key to it. It's just your awareness. Become aware of them, and with an innocent, open-minded, peaceful heart, like, just genuinely be like, it's okay for you to visit here. I'm peaceful. We want to join the mission of, for the benefit of all mankind. There's people down here who, love you and want to interact with you. And it's that simple. And they love that. Look, trust me, they are just as excited to meet you as you are them. Like, but they understand the principles, that they can't force it. In fact, if you have any fear in you when you do it, they won't show up. The connection is severed, because they know they will never risk ever coming across as some threat. That would be so bad. And for Christ, it's the same thing. Christ is there. Christ is a spirit now. He's wherever you are, and everyone is where you are. There's it's all the generous present moment. There's no past, there's no future. It's just we get caught up in this third dimensional reality because it's so dense. We get sucked down into this. Everything hurts because, we don't realize that we're energy, and energy dictates matter. So raise your energy and hold it. Like, really just tell yourself it's true, it's real. I can do this. and then ask for a sign. Just say, if this is real, please send me a sign. Have it come in a way that's just right for me, that inspires me to do it again and again. And it'll come. It'll come. You'll be like, just doing something one day, and then you'll be flipping through a page, and you'll see exactly what you were just thinking about. Like, really, is this real? Like, and it just reminds you, you know, that you can do that. You can do it, and it really is that simple. The ET stuff is a little more scarier when it's in person. So if like, they will most likely come in dreams. I've had a couple come to my back window. One walked right past my door. One poked its head at me, and I couldn't get up out of the bed to like open the door. So, because who I was asking at the moment to open the door was afraid. Like, no, there's someone out there that might hurt you. Like, they're playing tricks on you. I was like, no, my friends are from in the sky are right there. Just open the door, right? And then I got all angry, and then they walked. They didn't come back. But I sat for 3 hours that night just meditating, telepathically trying to turn the handle on the door, because I was like, well, if I could just use my mind to do things, it'd be so much easier. So the handle moved. I was like, holy shit, I did it. Right? And then my dog started barking at the time, and she was barking at the door, and right under the door there's like a window plane at her level, and she pulled the curtain back over with her nose, and this little green face with black eyes was staring at me. And I immediately was thinking, oh, that must be a cat, right? Must be some reflection off the glass, changing the color. And then I thought a second later, hold on, wait a minute. Cats can't turn handles, especially round knobs. Like, that's an ET out there, right? Like, holy crap. So, yeah, you are limited by your own imagination and your heart. It's it. Just imagine in your mind, make it really real, what kind of experience you want to have with them, right? And feel it, and just tell them, this is what I'd like to experience. They will do it. It'll come probably in a dream, or because most people are not ready to see them up front. Like, some of them look really strange, and it's immediately, like all the alien movies you saw in your lifetime will come across your face, and you'll come out of the dream. Like, you'll get so excited. Like I was on the ship with them one time in a dream, but it was a real experience. And I'm laying on a table, and there was another guy to my left laying on a metal, table, naked. I sleep naked. I know that's a little TMI, but anyway, these three little gray beings start walking toward me, like with their hands out toward my face, and I started laughing hysterically. I was so happy to be there. I was like, yes, I finally did it, right? And then the excitement of that, I woke up out of that state, but it was real. Like, I was conscious and awake. So that's how they do it. They test you out and give you experiences. As many experiences as you want, you'll have. You just got to take the time to do it and get into that meditative state, and play with it. Like, don't obsess with it. Like, leave me alone, everyone. I need to go meditate. At first, it's easy to get into that rut, because I would do it because my neck was hurting so much. Like, I'd get made fun of, like, you meditate too much. I'm like, because I'm not getting up from that meditation till I feel better. Like, I have to convince myself that I'm well. But you could play with it, like, during your day when you're at work. Just send that thought to them. They know. And just be like, hey, give me a sign while I'm at work. And then, like, 2 seconds later, your phone will go beep, 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 which is, we are here. 3 beeps. They can interact with anything, all your technology. it's just your frequency and your level of excitement to make it real. And they love that. They're like, oh my God, finally some people we can interact with, right? Let's help this planet. And it's almost like they have no choice but to show up when you hit that frequency. You will point at the sky and say, appear, boom, and they will just appear at the same time you said it. At the second you say appear, that they appear. Like, it's really cool. But then again, it's fun to do. But there's a relationship. Just don't be afraid of it. And connect with. At first, they'll be kind of like, oh, that's kind of. They don't talk a lot. It's on your terms. So it's kind of like when they do talk, you got to practice staying aware that it's okay to be with them. It's safe. And then you can interact and you can go in deeper and you'll start like actually walking beside them. But it's a learning process. It's intense. It's intense. Don't be afraid of it, and then you'll get it. Yeah.
Well, I definitely appreciate the answer to that because there's so much more to it than I originally expected. Now, with saying that, once the documentary comes out, and then of course the app's going to come out very soon, because I think we just scratched the surface. There's so many more stories to share. Would you mind coming back on the show? And I think we're to definitely talk more about your experiences with extraterrestrials, because now that you said there's so many questions now, but I know that we're getting ready to wrap this up. Let's bring you back later this year and we'll get it going.
Yeah, and I would love to. And I would just like to end with the frequency that your listeners just hold the intention of guidance and protection for myself, for people who are trying to do this, and just at the right things at the right time, the right people, connections. That's how we're going to do this. We're not going to do this as a forceful thing. Our voted representatives are not going to do it. CEOs are not going to do it. Don't get mad at them for it. Forgive them for it. And let's just peacefully just go about it, and it'll happen. We don't have to be like hell warriors. We're just normal little people doing what we can when we can, and that's even more powerful. Thank you. I'm grateful. Very grateful.
Thank you for that, my friend.
Copyright Diego the Podcaster. All content for Let's Find Out is the property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster, or Let's Find Out. The information shared on Let's Find Out with Diego is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.